Hi, welcome to Easy Chinese. Today we're going to teach you just a few words again, but they're words that you'll find are very, very useful. And today our first word is the word lao. And there's another word that is very important that goes with lao is xiao. Xiao. Xiao.
Yeah. Xiao means small, or for people means younger, young people.
These are two very, very important words because in China, you need to use the person's family name or their last name, for example, Wang or Ding, and in front of it, you must have a title. So if my name is Wang, then I would be Xiao Wang.
Maybe for some people who are much younger than you, they may call you Lao Wang.
Again, we want to remind you that politeness does not come from please and thank you. Politeness comes from the form of address you use along with the person's name. In the West, we just use a name like Jim or Bob or Sally or Mary, but here, people don't use their name, their first name. They use their last name plus this add-on. Usually, xiao. That's very, very common to have xiao, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for people who are older than the other people, they tend to call the other people xiao with their family names. For instance, if
I would call you Xiao Cui.
Okay, that's right. But I would expect people who are younger than me to call me Lao Cui. In a way, yeah.
And there's no medium. There's nothing in the middle. You're either little or young or you're old. And there's no middle-age title. So it's very important for you to get this perspective. An 80-year-old might call a 60-year-old xiao, little, because they're younger than they are.
Yeah, and also in China, we won't be offended by calling old. We'll be offended by people calling us young.
And so there's a very fun expression that you may hear if you come to China on the street, especially if you go somewhere where there haven't been very many foreigners. You'll hear people say, lao wai. Wai is just like our word, why are you going? Lao wai. It means old or respected. Wai means from the outside. And it means an old, respected foreigner. Yeah, so people will often say, oh, look, there's a lao wai. It means an old foreigner. Even if you're young, even if you're 20, they'll call you lao wai.
To show our intimacy, to show the closeness, and it's very casual. In a way, it's friendly.
Yeah, it is friendly. It's a lot of different thinking in here. If you meet someone in China and you know their name, it's not so common to say ni hao. Remember, we taught you ni hao in the first lesson. It's more likely, if someone comes into the room where you are, that you'll stand up and you'll say their name. And that's like saying, how are you? So, for example, if Xiao Cui came into the room, I might even stand up and say, hey, Xiao Cui, how are you?
Yeah. And also, as for the names in Chinese, it's different from English names. We have the family names and the given names in the opposite places.
That's right. So if you have a friend whose name is Wang Xiaohong, Wang is their surname, and Xiaohong, little red, Hong means red, Wang Xiaohong, Xiaohong is their given name.
So if you want to call her by Lao or Xiao, if she's young, Xiao, if she's old, Lao, we should say Lao Wang or Xiao Wang. Wang is the family name which goes the first in the name. And if you call her Xiao Hong, that shows great intimacy. Only among her friends and in her family, people may call her Xiao Hong, which is her given name.
Right. So you need to be very clear on these things. These are really very important. It's hard to imagine how important these things are. I remember when my children were little again, we just got to China and I didn't understand these things. A friend, I mean, not really a friend, a person from work came up and said, now what should your girls call me? and his name was Yang. He said, they should call me Yang Shushu, which means Uncle Yang. And from my American point of view, I thought, no, not uncle. Who are you? You're not related to me. I don't even know you. My children would never call you uncle. But the thinking in China is different. Shushu or uncle, which is actually easy. Shushu, uncle.
Yeah. Shushu. Shushu is just the man of the parents' generation. Not necessarily be your uncle, but word for word translation is uncle in English.
Yeah. So when this guy said, call me Yang Shushu, we thought, no. But he was just trying to teach us something and we didn't understand it. You need to use these terms of respect with the person's surname, or you have no manners. They were just trying to help us get a little more manners. So remember, when you go to China, you can always ask someone, oh, what should I call you? How should I address you? And they'll say, whatever is correct. Mm-hmm.